Okay, I'm going to go through sending out comps for a condo in Chicago. And this one's going to be, here's a request from the client. She has a condo at 2828 Burling, and it's a studio with no parking, needs comps on it, and wants to see the sales. She says the last 3 years, really, the only relevant sales are the ones in the last 6 months, but since she's requesting a longer time frame, I'll send her out what she's asking for. And this, I think, is this one's a smaller building. In most high-rise buildings, we'll send out, you want to really stay within the building to find comps. In smaller buildings, if you couldn't find any in the last, 6 months, a year, you'd go outside the building. But anyway, what I do for a condo building first is you want to see what's closed in the building. That's always the most relevant. Finding sales that have closed. And in this case, it's a studio. Studio means it's 0 bedrooms. It's just one big room. So I'm looking at closed sales, or 6 closed sales if I am looking back all months. Really, like I said, you want to go back 6 months, but she's asking for a longer time frame. As long as she can go as 24 months or all the comps. So I'm going to go back 24 months. And I get none. No sales in the last 2 years. So it's not relevant. I'm going to go back all months. You got 6. And make sure it's not lost here what I just did. What I did was then I'm going to save this search and I'm going to send it to the client. So studios at 2828. And she's already in here. If she wasn't in this system, I would add a new client and put her information here. And allow versus prospecting would be no always. But in this case, she's in here, so I'm going to select Fraggle. Elizabeth Fraggle. And I'll put down places it got closed. And now, since there wasn't really much there in her building, what I would do next is I'm also going to send her out and tell her, hey, there's nothing you can use as comps within your building. I'm going to add a field down here at this button and pull in the map search. Sometimes it's actually in there by default, but in this case, for some reason, it's not. And using the map search, I'm going to click on Center On and type in 2028 Burling, Chicago. If you don't type in Chicago, it'll give you Michigan or New York or who knows where 90% of the time. Anyway, you usually grab like a 5-block radius. I happen to know this Lakeview East neighborhood ends around Diversey, so I'm going to stay within the neighborhood. I'm going to grab up major streets 4 or 5 blocks away. I'm just going to grab up this area. I don't want to get too close to lake in this case because I don't want her to be compared with, I don't want, the comparables aren't going to be on the lake. And in the same respect, I don't want to get too far away from the lake because the closer you are to the lake, the more valuable your property is. If you can walk to the lake, that's valuable. You can see there's only a few blocks to the lake, so you want to kind of stay within the 5 to 6 blocks from the lake. And I got studios that have closed. Oops. Yeah, I took out the street names, so I make sure I'm getting stuff outside there. So I got 23 comps have closed in the last, all months. I just want really last 6 months. 0 in the last 6 months. So either I've got to extend my time frame or I've got to extend the area. I'm going to extend my time frame to 12 months. Let's take a look. I only came up with 2. Not good. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to make my boundary a little bit bigger. Usually I don't have to do this, but in this case, we're just not getting a whole lot. And so I'm going to go, You know, what you're trying to do when you're sending out comps is send out things that are similar to what the client has that have sold, so they can figure out how to price their own place. The problem is that you know, you really want to stay within, you know, you look like for like. So you want to do the same number of bedrooms for sure for condo, and potentially the same number of baths. In this case, only going to be one bath. Of course, it's just one room. But you don't want to get too far away either from where they're looking, because then it starts to be irrelevant as well. Plus, only 3. Even when I expand the area, it's only 3. So I'm going to save this search, and I'm going to say close studios near 28, and save that one as a new search. And we can see there's close that, and there's close near. So the client should be receiving that information. I'm also going to respond back to her. We don't actually do CMAs. I just sent out the comps to you. Sorry for the delay. There were no comps in the building in the last 2 years. In fact, I only found 3 in the last 12 months. Whoops. In the general area. We do not do CMAs, as comparative market analysis, or and we don't do those. We do. We charge. We actually charge $9 to do a full CMA and recommend a price. And that's it.